Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well and studying well. So children, science helps us to know about our environment in a better manner, isn't it? So now we are going to talk about certain things that we see very commonly in our environment, which are the rocks and the soils. Okay, so we're going to talk about the rocks, we are going to talk about the different types of rocks, we're going to talk about soil, how is the soil formed, we're going to talk about the different layers of soil and also the uses of soil. Okay, so are you ready? Yes. So before we start, let's look at this, okay, and say in which works are sands used. So where all do you use sand? Okay, if you don't know, we are going to learn it. All right, so now experimental learning. Tick the rock and cross others. So whatever is rock, you have to tick it and cross the rest. So what are rocks? Rocks, they are the hard substances that are found in the earth's crust. Okay, so they are found inside the earth's crust. Okay, and they are hard substances. Now there are different kinds of rocks which are found in hills and mountains, in the soil and also under the ground. So you have different kinds of rocks that you see in the mountains, in the hilly areas, you see them in the underground areas, okay, you see in the soil, okay, you see near the beaches, near the seashores. So they are of different types. So all these rocks, they are very useful, okay, and some of them, they are very precious too, okay. So rocks, they differ in their sizes, in shapes, colors, as well as composition and their use. So we use different types of rocks for different purposes, okay. They can be of different size, shape, okay, color, anything, but and they are very useful for us, okay. So what are the different types of rocks? Depending on their formation, okay, there's a process of formation. Rocks have been divided into three groups. We divide them into three different types, okay. Igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, they are formed due to the cooling of hot and molten lava coming out from the volcanoes. Example, granite and pumice, okay. So igneous rocks, they are formed when the molten or the hot lava that comes out from the volcanoes, it cools down, okay. So example of igneous rocks are granite and pumice, okay. Infobit, diamond, okay. The diamonds, you must have seen the diamond jewelry and all that your mother wears or your family members wear. So diamond is actually the hardest rock on the earth. Polished granite is used for flooring and granite gravel is used for making roads. Pumice is used to clean floors and polish fine furniture, okay. So granite, it gets polished and that is what we use for our flooring, okay, at home. The granite gravel which is left, okay, it is used for making roads, and pumice to clean floors and also polish the fine furniture items. Sedimentary rocks, they are formed by the deposition of sand, clay and pebbles, okay. When sand, clay and pebbles are deposited, sedimentary rocks are formed at the bottom of the sea, river and other water bodies over thousands of years. So they take around thousands of years to form, okay. Example are sandstone and the limestone. The Red Fort, which is in New Delhi, and many buildings in North India, they are made up of red sandstone, okay. The Red Fort, the Agra Fort, they have used the red sandstone to build these monuments, okay. Then you have metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks, they are formed by the action of heat and pressure on sedimentary and igneous rocks. For example, marble and slate. So when there is pressure on the igneous and the sedimentary rocks, when there is heat and pressure on it, that's when metamorphic rocks are formed because of that heat and pressure. These are example, marble and slate. So marble, it is found in many colors, white, black, okay. It is a very common color of marble, okay. Now people use this marble for building houses, okay, for making statues, floorings, okay. The slate which is there, it is used for making the roofs of the building. Example of marble structure is the Taj Mahal. It is made up of white marble. Okay, soil. Now let's talk about soil. Soil, it is an important resource that supports life on earth. Okay, we depend on soil for food, and you know that plants are planted in the soil. Okay, and that's how we get our food. So uppermost layer of the earth, okay, of the earth's crust is the soil. Okay, so it is made up of tiny pieces of rocks, sand, clay, and remains of dead plants. Plants get water and minerals from the soil. It is the home of many small animals as well. Okay, tiny animals live in the soil. Okay, earthworms and all, they live in the soil itself. All right. So the soil is the most important part for any plants to grow. Okay, for everyone. Okay, and forbid, soil forms very slowly. It takes 500 years to make 3 centimeter of soil. So much time is required for the soil to form. So that is the reason why we need to plant more trees that so that the soil gets tightened, okay, and it stays and does not get washed away. Okay. Now how is soil formed? Soil is formed when the rocks break down. When the rocks they break down, soil starts forming. Rivers and streams, they are flowing down from the mountains, okay, and then when they are flowing down, they carry small boulders with them, okay, and this running water then tosses those small boulders here and there. So they rub and they bump against each other, turning them into small pebbles, and that's how small pebbles are formed. So if you must have gone to a waterfall, okay, or a river, you must have seen tiny pebbles there, okay. Those are formed because of the moving river which is rubbing over each other and bumping over each other. So weather, it plays a very important role in the breaking up of rocks. Rocks, they get heated during the daytime and they cool during the night time. This heating and cooling breaks down rocks into smaller pieces. So because of the heating and cooling process, the rocks are broken into small pieces. Rainwater, it accumulates in the cracks of the rock. So rainwater, it seeps into the cracks of the rock, okay, and gets accumulated there. In cold countries, this water, it gets frozen and it gets turned into ice. The hard ice then expands, which breaks up the rock. Plants may start to grow inside the rock, okay, and then the plants also start growing inside the rock, and as their roots spread out, they split the rocks, okay, and as the roots of the plants they start growing, they start splitting the rocks further. Wind also helps in the breaking up of rocks into small pieces, and that's how the soil is formed. Okay. Now, what are the different layers of soil? Soil exists in 3 layers. Topsoil, which is the topmost portion of the soil. Okay, it is the uppermost portion, okay, or uppermost layer of the soil. It is dark in color. Now let's talk about the different layers of the soil. Topsoil. The topsoil, it is the uppermost layer, okay, and it is dark in color. Or now there are certain regions where the soil is of a different color, okay. Now that depends on the region, the climate, okay, of that area. All right. Subsoil. Now subsoil, it is just below the topsoil and it is light in color. Okay, the topsoil is darker, the subsoil is lighter in color. Okay, and then you have the bedrock, which is the bottom layer of and it is made up of solid rock, which is known as the bedrock. Okay, so these are the different layers of soil. Now, how are soil and crops connected? We grow different crops in different types of soils. Okay, so if we want to grow better crops, the soil should contain enough water, air and minerals. So that is the reason why it is very important that the soil has all these essential nutrients, okay, for any kind of a produce. Okay. Now, what are the uses of soil? Soil is used in agriculture, okay, where it serves as the main source of nutrients for plants. It provides minerals, it provides water to plants, and it also makes them grow healthy. We all know that the plants take up water and nutrients from the soil. So it is very essential for the plants, okay, for the trees, and also for any kind of agricultural activity. Soil also holds the plant erectly and it provides the support to the roofs or the roots. Okay. Now, soil, it acts as the foundation. It is the foundation for most construction projects, okay, such as roads, buildings and dams. So, we will see that everywhere soil is used. Whenever you are constructing anything also, soil is used. Soil is also used to make pots, utensils and toys. The clay is what? Clay is soil, okay. Many minerals, they are obtained from the soil, alright. So, I hope children now you know about the different types of soils and how they are formed. So, let us do a quick recap. Wind also plays an important role in breaking the rock into the small pieces to form soil. So, rocks and soil, they go hand in hand, okay. Wind also plays a very important role in the breaking up of rocks. Tiny grey stones, okay, they are also known as gravel, okay, they are used to build roads. Rocks exist in almost all the soils. The running water, it tosses rocks around, which results in breaking up of rock into smaller pieces. So, rocks, they are existing in almost every type of soil, okay. The running water, it tosses the rocks, okay, and which results in the breaking up of rocks into smaller pieces. A mixture of molten rocks and gases present in the central part of the core of the earth, it is called the magma, okay. So, I am sure children, as we grow into the next classes, we will learn about all these things in more detail. But at present, you need to reread the chapter and complete the back exercises so that you get a basic knowledge about what we are going to learn in the next classes. Alright, get going.